let's say, for example, the other way, or the other situation where they really want to leave.
Mm-hmm.
They have an offer already from outside.
Yeah.
Let's say that the motivation is already filled by that offer or by that environment.
Mm-hmm.
And the leaving of this employee will leave a blank spot
All
or
right.
an empty spot in our team. How
Mm-hmm.
can we deal with this in situation? Because it might be one of the top people,
Yeah.
and we want to make sure that the team doesn't suffer a big crush or a big I don't know, failure, or backup. Sorry, like a crash. Yes, I think
Mm-hmm.
that's the better word to say it. How can we make sure that we fill the void?
Yeah. So that's a challenging situation, especially if the leader or the organization doesn't have a backup plan. Like one of the things that I've done when I lead my team, and also what I advise leaders to do, is to always have a three case scenario. What I mean by that is, what would happen if Madalena is leaving tomorrow? Do I have three cases or three scenarios of replacing her tomorrow? And especially, one of the principle I really love about leadership and working with people is the 80-20 principle, or the Pareto principle, especially when this is applied to teams, right? So I wrote in a previous article on LinkedIn about how can you apply this to people. And actually, I even have it here. So I created a little table, and this is one of the tables we created from the one of John Maxwell's principles. But what we said is that you, as a leader, you need to know what are your top 20 people, that 12, top 20% people, that if they leave or start working against you, it will have a huge impact on your team and your team performance, right? So when we look at 80-20, so if you have a team of 10 people, two out of those 10 would be those key employees that we're talking about right now, right? So you, as a leader, before, that's exactly why we want to really actually take care of these people, because if they leave, they might leave a void. And now the question is, what do we do when they leave? Like, let me give you what we could do before they leave, so they don't leave, right? Because if they leave, then we should put in place one of those scenarios. So if we had already a scenario in place that we have people which could take their role, we could split that person responsibility, among two or three people, right? And maybe redesign some roles. So someone leaving is not necessarily always a bad thing. Sometimes could be also an agent of change. So we had some, role split before, and now because this person left, now we can actually assign these tasks in a different way and create opportunities for someone who already has the potential to take that position. But what I mean by this 80-20 is that as a leader, we need to know who are those top people, top 20% of our team, and spend 80% of our time and resources with those 20%. And then those 20% would be able to then mentor and lead and grow the other 80% from our team. Because as a leader, especially in today's world, I know leaders that have up to, I know someone, I spoke with him recently, has 52 consultants under his, leadership. Like, how can you make time for 52 people? Right? That's huge, right? Exactly. So that's where this principle comes into place. So to answer your question, if we are now faced with that, with that person leaving, then we need to look at, do we have a scenario? Do we have someone who could take the responsibility? And do we have someone that wants to be promoted and we could promote to take that responsibility, or can we split that responsibility among the team members?